by talking about your family. Where did your family come from, and how is it that they came to live in a mill village?
My father was raised in Spartanburg, South Carolina, on the farm, and my mom was raised in Franklin, North Carolina. And she also came from the farm. My father had passed away, my grandfather had passed away, and my grandmother had passed away. So they had heard from word of mouth that there was, you could make X number of dollars in the mill village. I should have a house, indoor plumbing, and indoor bathroom. And so this was quite a step up from them. So they moved to the Gastonia area, the family did. And my mom and dad met each other at a mill there in Gastonia. So later, they married and moved to the Eagle Mill Village. So they thought they had really moved up with this 5-room house, a garage, say about 2 doors from the mill, and they had, of course, the indoor plumbing. And this was quite it's a step for them with the electricity and in-house also.
Well, moving to the mill village from the countryside, did they bring some of their farm ways with them to the mill village?
My father always had a garden. We had the corn, tomatoes, the onions, lettuce. We had that he raised, and of course we had the cow. And we always had a hog, which they called it a pig, but they called it a hog. And so in the wintertime, in the fall of the year, we always would have, they would slaughter the pig. Then they would share it with the neighbors in the community. And I often wondered, well, why would they share, the sausage, the bacon, and the ham with the neighbors? And later I found out that the neighbors fed our pigs because they would go around and gather the leftovers from the table. They would put it in a bucket, and that was not, they would call that slop bucket. And they would take those scrappings, food scrappings, and then feed it to the pigs daily. So in the fall of the year, when they slaughtered the pigs, then they shared the meat with the neighbors.
Yeah, an old tradition straight from the rural South, right there. Hog killings and sharing with the neighbors. Well, tell me, what kinds of music did you like growing up?
We had a lot of gospel music, and also there was country, and then the Benny Goodman. But a lot of, there in the mill village, we had a lot of men that played, and women that played, piano. My uncle was one of the ones that played the guitar and the mandolin. And they would gather on the porches sometime in the summertime and play the music and sing. And so the piano and the instruments were favorite there in the mill village.
Did you have a favorite song that you remember?
No, we would visit, the relatives. We would, go back to the mountains many a times, and you could hear the gospel music up there. But a lot of them were mostly hymns that we would remember.
Tell me a little bit about your family.
Well, there was 3 girls and 2 boys. And then, of course, Mom and Dad both were redheads, so we had 7 redheads in our family. So that was quite a lot of redheads there, put together. There was my older sister, Dorley, and then my brother, John Earl, George Robert, myself, and then my younger sister, Geraldine.
So you were the second to the youngest, is that right? Okay.
So that was the makeup of our family.
Okay. Well, growing up, what was it like to live in a mill village?
Well, there was unity there. There was caring. also, for instance, if you misbehaved and your parents didn't catch you misbehaving, well, the neighbors, could scold you and would tell on you, and your parent at that time would believe the neighbor over your story that you would tell the parent. There was a lot of joy. When people were down or needed or help, they were quick to come and help out the neighbors. There was just an awful lot of giving and caring and unity there in the mill village.
Well, you said something about misbehaving. You didn't misbehave, did you?
I'm afraid so.
Could you share a story about maybe one time you got in trouble and what happened to you?
Well, a lot of times, I guess going out of the yard when you weren't supposed to leave the yard. My mom could look out the mill window and see me maybe across the street. And then, of course, she would come home and you would have to go get your switch, and she'd say, no, you better bring a good one. And then, of course, she'd bring in the switch, and if it was too small, she would make you go and retrieve another one. But she would do the switching on the legs, and we didn't forget these switchings for quite some time. And then when your dad, when you misbehaved and he should handle it, he would take his belt off and whack you on the boom boom. But very seldom Dad, would whip you. It was always the mom that usually would do the scolding or the whipping.
What about chores? Did you have to do any chores as you were growing up?
Well, we were always assigned certain chores in the house, and when we got older, of course, I was the one that always was taught to cook, and of course my older sister, she was taught to cook also. But then we were all the girls were taught how to cook, how to clean house, and of course the boys had chores. They would bring the coal in, feed the dog, and then of course the girls would always keep the porch swept off. We would sweep the yard because at that time we didn't have grass, so we would always, sweep the yard. Make the beds, the usual.
What elementary school did you go to?
Belmont
Okay.
Central.
Tell me a little bit about that school, if you would.
Well, we had a lot of fun at school. The teachers in those days would come and visit in the homes and sort of observe, your family life at that time. There was the closest with the grammar, in the grammar grades. Because usually the teacher would know everything about your family. And of course, what she didn't know, she could learn from the neighbors or the neighbor children. So the teacher knew quite a bit about the history of your family.
Could you describe to me, like say in the third grade, we get a lot of third graders that come here to the museums, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Could you describe to me what a typical day at school would have been like? Kind of walk us through from the morning to the afternoon.
We always walked to school, which was, I would say, about a mile away. And the only thing I can remember back then, third grade, was like, there's a lot of reading and writing. Teacher, writing on the board. Going to the cafeteria. Paying 25 cents, for your lunch. It was just a lot of playing, happiness in the playgrounds. And the playgrounds, as I got older, I saw that they weren't as large as they appeared to be at that age. I mean, you just thought it was just acres of land. But it was just, school was just a beautiful school, and it was sad to see it when it be demolished.
Well, how did that make you feel when it was demolished? What was the emotion?
It was sadness.
Melinda, please call
Sadness.
Jayla at the front
School
desk. Melinda, please
had
call
been
Jayla
there
at the
quite
front
some
desk.
time. And to this day, I live probably.
I'm sorry, you may want to go back over that, because that won't be any good.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, where were we? Now, where am I looking? Do I
Right
look
at Brad.
Do I look
Yeah,
at you?
Brad.
Oh, okay. I was wondering, maybe over
No.
there.
No, you're doing great.
We're not here.
I'm still nervous. You can tell my voice I'm nervous.
But you know,
Where were
you were telling me about how you felt when they demolished your school that you went to.
There was an awful lot of sadness. They were selling the desk, and I don't know whether you've ever seen the desk that was connected. They were on, like the seat was connected to the desk behind you. And they were selling those desks at school for $5 right before they demolished the school. And of course I didn't go to get one. I wish now I had them. But the school, it was sadness. But and I'm reminded every Sunday morning when I go to church, there still stands the 3 steps up where the kids would catch the school buses. You know, you can just let your imagination run wild, and you can still see the school buses pull up there, and the children still getting on the school bus. So I always walked to school, so I never had to ride the bus. But it was just a lovely old school.
Well, speaking of church, tell me a little bit about what church life was like for you growing up in the village.
Well, the Foursquare Church, which was there connected to the village, which was started by people in the village, played an important role there in that Eagle Mill village. First Baptist played a role. Those 2 churches that I attended, and they were connected to the Mill village. I can remember having watermelon get-togethers. They would have fish fries there in the park. And the members of the church there were always close by in time of despair.
What did you do for fun? You wanted to have fun, some playtime. What did you play?
Well, I think one of the family fun times was sitting in the floor, and this was on the linoleum floor, and listening to the radio. We would listen to Grady Cole, the Godfrey Man, Papa Godfrey. We would listen on Saturday night to Brenda Lockery, Lum and Abner, Screeching Door. My brothers couldn't wait to be home from school in the afternoons. They would listen to the Lone Ranger. And again, you had your imagination had to play, with you. But I never did care for the Screeching Door and those things. I would always leave the room. But we played hopscotch. We played Jack Rock, Old Maids. Some of the people would go roller skating, but the only place you could roller skate was at the mill, on the sidewalk, at the back of the mill. And then sometimes the security guard down there would run your way when he'd have perhaps too many kids together there. But in front, so we didn't have paved roads there in the mill village at that time, so that was about the only place they could roller skate. But we played Jack Rock. There was always something, and the boys played, the softball. There was always something to do, there was always fun and games.
Do you have a particular cherished memory of your early life growing up in the village?
Well, there was just a lot of memories. Dad would take us up. We would ride up to the mountain sometimes, Rowan Rock or Chimney Rock on Sunday mornings or on Saturday mornings. I guess my cherished moments was on Sunday afternoon. That's when company would come. And you would always have leftovers on the table, and the tablecloth would be over all the cooked food. And all the visitors that came on Sunday afternoon you would always ask them to eat. And of course they would always come in and eat afterwards. Check the table over to see if there was anything to their liking. And we had a piano in our house, so there was always gospel singing, you know, on Sunday afternoon. Someone would come in, maybe perhaps, or I would play the piano, my sister would play the piano. We would sit there and sing. And sometime we would make the homemade ice cream on Sunday afternoon. So you remember the moments like that. The family unity was, you know, played a big part in your life.
Is there anything that sticks in your mind that was an unhappy or unpleasant memory that you'd like to share?
I don't remember unhappy moments. The only time I remember unhappy moments was maybe you're getting, you know, like falling down and getting a bruised knee, or maybe someone in the neighborhood passing away. But I don't remember unhappy moments, and maybe getting a whipping. But that's about the only unhappiness that I can remember.
It's funny, that's been sort of the common, the consistent answer that we've been getting from everyone. Excuse me.
And if you,
Are we there?
time is ticking if you wanna.
Okay. Let me jump ahead a little bit and ask you about how you felt when the Eagle Mill closed. How'd you feel about that?
Well, it was very sad because I had seen the other mill villages. They had remodeled the houses and they were redoing the homes and reselling the homes. And I thought, well, perhaps maybe that was just a rumor that they would, you know, go to these homes and redo them because they were very well built in that time. I mean, when they were built. I was very sad, and so I would go down to the mill and ride around, and I would let my mind capture, you know, moments of my childhood, teenage years, and I would go into some of the houses that had been abandoned, especially my grandmother's house. And the day that it was abandoned, I couldn't wait to get inside, and I went in her bedroom, and I could still relive, you know, moments that I had had there, spending the night with her, sleeping in her feather bed, bringing the brick, you know, that she had warmed on the stove to put to my cold feet. And at that time, I retrieved her closet door. And I brought it home and I said, something can be made out of this closet door. So I ended up making a coffee table out of the closet door. And I'd go down and I'd tear mantles from the wall. We called them fireboards. But, and I would bring them home. And I found a cast iron grate that I brought home. But I would just go down searching for little items perhaps that would, you know, but that was part of the mill village. And I wanted to retain them all. And I still have all these items. I have a bench from the mill, a spool of yarn, all my mother and dad's tools that they worked with while in the mill. Not all their tools, but a lot of their tools. So it was devastation to see. And even today, I walk down there and, you know, the landscaping is absolutely beautiful. But you can still see the houses, you can still connect where certain families lived. I've even gone down and gotten a big bush, rose bushes, and brought home that I remember certain families had planted there.
That's wonderful. That's good. That's great. Is there any other particular memories that you'd like to share before we end the interview?
Well, it was just, I guess growing up on the mill village just made you a better person. It just made you, honesty, I guess, was taught there, caring, giving, whatever you purchase, learn to take care of it. You know, even if you paid $1 for it, you know, you worked hard to get that $1. So, I guess my dad's words were always, you know, I won't be here always to take care of you, so wanted you to do better, because their work was very hard. And they wanted you to go on and improve your work down the road. So I'm just thankful for the Mill Village, the Eagle Mill Village, and also my parents that came in. Fantastic growing up. I wouldn't take anything for it.
That's wonderful.
Oh.
That was terrific.